Peace be with you. Welcome to the Institute of All Intelligent Life. My name is Ali Muhammad Kartar Puri, also known as Allan Keislar, and we are continuing today our reading from 5 Holy Scriptures, seeking God's guidance. So first of all, we will read from the Sri Guru Granth Sahib. This is the third part of Pauri 3 of the Japji Sahib. And the translation is, "Some sing of his glorious virtues, greatness, and beauty." So we have been reading how some sing of his power, and some sing of his gifts, and now in Punjabi, "Gavan ko gun vadiyaya char." So I looked at this translation, and I think it means, just as the others, some sing of his gun, his virtues, or his good qualities, and then vadiyaya char, I think char means 4, but I'm not sure. Because the translation that we have is some sing of his glorious virtues, greatness, and beauty. So maybe there is some thing that I don't know about in the Sikh tradition about 4 guns or something. But anyway, I will just go with the translation. Some sing of his glorious virtues, greatness, and beauty. So no one can calculate how great God is. Allahu Akbar. God is the greatest, far, far beyond our ability to understand. And he has so many wonderful qualities, glorious virtues, and beauty. Of course, Allah must be the most beautiful. God is the source of all beauty, so must be more beautiful than anything else, more beautiful than we can even imagine. So some people glorify God in that way, for being the greatest, the most virtuous, and the most beautiful. Okay, we'll move on to the Holy Quran. We are continuing to read about Moses talking with Pharaoh. And Moses says, this is verse 22, the 22nd ayat of the 26th Surah of the poets, Surah. "And this is the favor with which you do reproach me, that you have enslaved the children of Israel." So Pharaoh is simply pointing out Moses' fault, that he had killed a man, and Moses is pointing out to Pharaoh, "You blame me for having killed one person by accident, who was a tyrant and very sinful man himself, horribly mistreating the fellow children of Israel of mine. And now what have you done, Pharaoh? You have enslaved the entire race, all the children of Israel, and, of course, that he's implying by saying that you know that you have killed all the firstborn sons of the children of Israel too." So there's no comparison, of course, between what Moses did and what the Pharaoh did. So, of course, Moses did not even openly say that, but he implied that. And of course, Pharaoh must have understood when he was saying that you enslaved the entire nation of the children of Israel, you also killed the firstborn sons, or you or your father, perhaps it was the previous Pharaoh who made that order, which Moses escaped being hidden by his mother and then raised by the Pharaoh's family itself. So the two of them, the Pharaoh and Moses, they know each other well. The Pharaoh pointed out to Moses that we had treated you so well as a child among us. We brought you up, we cherished you. So now how have you turned against us? That's what the Pharaoh's saying. And Moses is not denying that, but they are quite on the opposite point of view as to the Pharaoh thinks of himself as a divine being, in fact. That's actually what they believed. The people of Egypt really believed the Pharaoh was divinity to be worshipped. And so the Pharaoh also, of course, believed that about himself. So how can you accuse me of doing anything wrong? Even enslaving and killing the firstborn son of all these, or not only the firstborn son, it was all the sons of the Israelites were to be killed. But this is this situation in the world even now. Those pharaohs, those demonic leaders who think of themselves as some sort of divine being, literally they think they have the right to do whatever they want, and they think they can get away with it, and they forget that there is a God who is seeing everything, knows everything, and all of their horrible atrocities they are committing will be found out. And God will send, is sending, has been sending his servants to remind them of what's going on and warn them that you cannot continue in this way. If you go on committing these atrocities, you will certainly be punished for that. So, you're reproaching me, Moses said. Think about what you have done. So we should all actually have this attitude too. We should not be thinking about other people's faults. We should recognize that we all have done something wrong, and we should not criticize others for what they have done. We should undoubtedly, as Moses is doing, indirectly at least, humbly point out to them their faults and encourage them to correct them and even warn them. But we should focus on our action, because every one of us has made mistakes, and we all need to correct those faults of our own. As Jesus said, which I mentioned recently also, look at the log in your own eye, he said, before you try to look at the speck in your neighbor's eye. So let us all focus, because we all need to look more at our own faults and correct them than to try to correct others' mistakes. So it's a balance we need between those two positions of humility and not get others' fault at all, and when God directs us to, we do have to point out the injustices committed, especially by those who are in power. Okay, we will move on to the Holy Bible, Ezekiel chapter 1 we are continuing to read, and today we have come to the 20th verse of Ezekiel chapter 1. Wherever the Spirit would go, they went, and the wheels rose along with them, for the spirit of the living creatures was in the wheels. I was very happy when I read this verse, because my interpretation that these wheels are actually spacecraft or flying saucers, they are wheels which have eyes around the rim of them, because those of us who have studied the secret space programs, and those of us who have met and learned about extraterrestrials and their craft, it's well known that many extraterrestrials have ships, spaceships, flying saucers, you might say. They're different forms. Some of them are like saucers, very common one. Others of them have other shapes. But in which those spaceships seem to actually be conscious. They seem to be able to respond to this. The spacecraft themselves are conscious. So this is quite well known among the community of people who are studying, which includes the United States military and other militaries who are trying to and have substantially succeeded in developing for this, the secret space program. President Trump announced the creation of a space force. Actually, it already existed for many, many years. The United States military has had, I'm sorry, my connection keeps getting cut off, so I have to repeat. The United States, so somehow or the other, the spirit of the into the craft itself, that's the way it appears. So don't take my word for it. I have very good evidence that I'm sorry, it's been at least 10 or 12 times already my signal is to me, because it's making an exact description of this amazing description that these secret space programs have discovered about extraterrestrial craft. Okay, sorry, I lost the signal again. I will repeat that. Through many a birth. So this is a very clear statement, and again, just twice I got cut off. So, self. So why did he? I don't know how this is coming through, because again, twice. Every few seconds, it seems, I'm getting cut off in this. I was just cut off twice again. Another interpretation is that I don't know why this is happening. Just, it seems like I'm not able to continue. It just happened again that I'm getting cut off. I just see a suggestion from Khadija Zahid, perhaps Gita verse. I was just going to read the Bhagavad-gita first, but I guess I'll go ahead. I think that's a good suggestion.